What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 322 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod. The scenery's a little bit different, but the show's still going to be the same. My name's Kyle, and I'll be your host tonight for this episode chock full of golf and fun. So tonight's episode is brought to you by Bet Online, the number one sports betting website in the country. Sign up today. Use coupon code BLEAV, BLEAV, to get a 50% welcome bonus. Give them $100. They're going to give you 50 back on top of it to play with. Got to get your account ready, locked and loaded for March Madness, which is right around the corner. Conference tournament starts next week. And then you got Selection Sunday, and the tournament kicks off. So you want to be ready for that. Typically record live from bunkers. I've been down with the flu for a few days. I'm kind of battling back. I'm almost 100% back, and I couldn't make it to the Monday. I couldn't make it to the Monday Winter League event, so I had to have a sub. Had a buddy take my spot. It's all handicapped anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can have subs. That's one cool aspect of the Winter League. So won't have any Winter League updates from scoring, gameplay, and things like that until next week. But again, bunkers is always, that's our home course. That's our home place. And scenery is going to look a little bit different, but the show is going to be the same tonight. So, and we got a really cool interview with one of the owners that you're going to recognize, especially if you're a local Auburn person. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The big talk from last week was Anthony Kim was going to make his debut in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, his first pro event in over 12 years. So much talk, so much hype. And we finally got to see him play. We finally got to see what kind of game he had. And there's so many different ways to take it. There's so many different ways you can go about how he played. He finished not all the way last because there was a WD. So he was next to last, 16 over total. He shot 6 over, 6 over, 4 over. So a little shaky. Had a cold shank right off the bat. I think the second hole in his first round. Only 4 birdies over the 3 days. So not just a ton of opportunity to really erase some of the, like the bogeys that you think you would make if you're rusty coming back into playing professional golf. I saw a lot of, there's a lot of banging on it, a lot of like, oh, I told you so, a lot of this, a lot of that. And quite honestly, to come into your first professional event and play a course that, it wasn't like it was just, a pitch and putt, play a real course to go. And even though the 2 scores from the first 2 days were the same, to get a little bit better as you go on. And then the last day, he played a 14-hole stretch at even par with 2 birdies and 2 bogeys. He got off to a bad start every single day, and then he would make a bunch of pars because he couldn't quite get it close enough, couldn't quite get some putts to fall to make birdies. So that's kind of what you would expect, though. First tee jitters, all the hype around it, and then LIV is just hype from hole 1 to hole 15 to hole 18 when you finish, with the music, the atmosphere, and things like that. So that's another thing that's a little different. One of the things that they said that he really had to get used to, he was very distracted by, were drones. You have to forgive me, my voice kind of cuts in and out. But yeah, he would get kind of distracted by some of the drones that were out there. That's a new aspect since he's been on tour. That's a new, I'm sure even the PGA Tour has some folks that have issues with drones and noise and things like that AK just hasn't been in the mix, hasn't been involved with over the last 12 plus years. But I would say honestly, coming into a pro event, playing in the field that you're playing with, and honestly, breaking 83 times, breaking 83 times. And then the last round, you had you played an extremely solid closing stretch of golf for 14 holes. I'd say, it's it's not great. It's not ideal. It's not where you want to be. If you want to try to win, if you want to prove that you need to be on one of the teams, but to show signs that there could be something here after so long, I think you kind of check that box. I think you kind of showed that you can hit it. You can hit it far enough. Now his ball speed is on the lower end, just slightly below like tour average. But you got the distance to compete. You can make birdies at this level. I mean, he did make four, and you can run off a bunch of pars. You can scramble at a high level. You still got some good touch around the greens, things like that. So, I would say there's some promise. I would say there's a lot of promise there. Um, the thing that I'm probably more interested in, and he talked about this, I believe, in his practice round. He was doing a interview on a practice round, and obviously, people always want to ask about his story. What happened? I want you to tell your story. And he promised us that he was going to. I'm here to play golf, but I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell my story. And the details and whatnot around what that could be, I think, are incredibly intriguing and might make this golf, the scoring that we saw, and might make the golf make more sense, and it might make it more impressive. Because I did a lot of digging and tried to look back at, he's such an enigma. He'd pop up here, he'd pop up there, but nothing ever just constant. But it looked like there was an article as recent as like 2021 where someone caught up with him, and I think the quote he used was his golf game was non-existent. So to go from a non-existent golf game in 2021, and I think clearly there was some inner demons and some things that he was battling with around that time before he met his now wife and had his uh, and had his daughter that he obviously clearly adores. Brought them both with them to Saudi Arabia. The little girl was right there, with him when he got finished and things like that. And you could tell how much of an impact that made on him. So I think once all the details and he's actually able to sit down and tell his story, I think we're going to garner just a gigantic new level of respect for not only just AK as a person, but I really honestly think this round we just saw, and like for him to be able to kind of slap it all together and get out there and break 80 three times in a row, and at times be competitive, be able to get around a course and not be holding everybody up and not be, just slapping it all over the place. He managed his way around the golf course and, got it done. So what does this mean for LIV moving forward and AK? I don't know. I mean, he's got guaranteed starts, so we're going to see him play more golf. You got to assume the more he plays, the better he'll get. I don't see him necessarily, unless something drastically changes. I don't know that he's really going to challenge to be a contender in any of the tournaments yet, and I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't know that he's going to challenge to be able to, possibly take over a roster spot on a team. I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know if that's even the desire right now. I think the big desire is just let's create a way for him to get back into playing professional golf. And I think that's what's huge about having him, back in general, just having him back in general. People seeing him, hearing him talk, and obviously when he finally gets to sit down and kind of clear the air. I think that's going to be must-see TV, and I will definitely be looking forward to hearing him tell his story. Joaquin Niemann playing like a madman. He obviously got his invite to the Masters, not for just being Joaquin Niemann, but winning several times all over the world. And then he obviously wins the LIV event again, going away really by 4 shots. So it wasn't even really close. Playing some incredibly good golf. He's got to be one of the favorites right now going into the Masters. He is just playing some really good golf. And he was talked about. They did an interview with him after he won, jumped in the water, all the good stuff, celebration. And they said something along the lines of, Joaquin, you're playing amazing. You are clearly going to be one of the betting favorites going into Augusta. How does that make you feel? And I thought his response was great. He said, how is that possible when I'm not even a top 100 player in the world? And kind of gave a little smile, kind of a shot at the world golf rankings and how silly the system is right now as far as giving any kind of credit to LIV players. So much so that LIV is completely pulled out of even attempting to try to get official golf world ranking points in general. They were denied, after every turn. And I think they even relented that they could change some of the formatting if they had to, but it was pretty clear that that was never going to happen. So it was pretty clear once they got going and they just weren't ever going to get world golf ranking points, which is a travesty, but it is something that, could possibly have been an outcome. It could have been an outcome that if you join LIV, you're going to hinder yourself to be able to get in majors. But I think what this is actually going to signal is something a little bit different, that no, you're not going to be able to get world ranking points from LIV golf events, but I think eventually you're going to see a pathway where guys can go to the PGA Tour, play some events, and get more world ranking build up their world ranking points, which will in turn help them possibly get into some major field events. But it kind of defeats the purpose of going to LIV now. Like these guys are going to end up playing more money. More golf. So I'm sure that they're not necessarily crazy about that. But again, had to know it was part of, had to know it was a possible outcome. You had to understand that was good. That could be a possible outcome, making this huge jump. And you were rewarded handsomely for doing so. So you know what? If you got to play a few more events now, it's hard from a fan perspective to feel sorry for you when, you just pocketed $600 million plus John Rahm or somebody like, Dustin Johnson, $150 million, when you're almost 40 years old on the back end of your career. It's kind of hard to, really feel sorry that you may have to play a couple extra events. And that may end up being a good thing for everybody. It will be a good thing for everybody, for fans in general, to be able to see more of their favorite golfers back on tour, because man, some of these non-elevated events have been absolutely brutal. The Cognizant, you had Rory in the field, but other than that, you just not a lot of firepower, not a lot of draw there. At what is a historically, a very traditional, very, famous venue. You got the bear trap and things like that, and just nobody watched. So we're going to be back next week. We're going to be back at Bunkers, recording live from Bunkers. We'll have some recaps from round 3 and our round 4 of the Winter League. You guys need to check this place out. It's incredible. And you're going to get to meet shortly one of the characters that helped make Bunkers become a thing. And you're going to have an interview with one of our buddies one of our friends and one of the owners of Bunkers, Keith Jones, who's also highly involved with Auburn Athletics, Auburn NIL, just all around great guy, loves golf. And he kind of became famous because he's got a courtside ticket seats. He kind of became a famous Auburn meme when Keith just he was going to get after one of the referees in a basketball game. He was going to get after him. And what's funny is if you know Keith, and you see how mad he got in the face that has become the meme. It makes it even that more funny because he's just a giant teddy bear. And you're going to get that in this interview that you're going to see. So Haley from Adams Beverages sits down with KJ and they go over, the history of Bunkers, how they came up with the name, how the whole thing came together, what he does with NIL at Auburn, which is huge, incredible what they do for the athletes. And then obviously he's going to tell the story of how he became a famous Auburn meme. So again, come to Bunkers Saturday and Sunday. They got brunch from 10 to 3. And on Sundays, kids play free from 10 to 3. So I'm there about at least 1 or 2 Sundays out of the month. And obviously we're there every Monday recording live at around 5:30. So we'll play. Typically we got, I guess, 3 more weeks of the Winter League, and then we'll continue to record live. So y'all come join in on the fun anytime. So again, I'm going to kick it to Haley. Y'all enjoy this interview. Again, this is episode 322 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod, and we're always stroking.
Hello, my name is Haley Hall. I'm with Adams Beverages and Michelob Ultra, and this is my good friend Keith Jones, owner of Bunkers, and apparently Auburn celebrity. We have a few
unfortunately,
questions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately and fortunately for us. So I want to know first and foremost, Bunkers, we're in this lovely, lovely spot right now, new to the Auburn scene. Tell us a little bit about Bunkers.
Yeah, we got open about 3 months ago. It's me and 4 other guys, and we're just avid Auburn fans, love the community, want to help the economy downtown, want to treat people right, and we wanted to create a different experience than what was here. So in my travels at an Auburn basketball game, I had come across the sports bar, and they had a golf simulator in it, and we got over there and we played for a long time, and had a really, really good time. So I came back to the AU club, which is where most of us reside out that way, and I was telling the guys about it. A couple of them, unfortunately, one was sitting on my right, one was sitting on my left, and they're partners here with me, but they said, well, why don't we do it here in Auburn? And so here we are. We've been open about 3 months, a little more, and it's been really good. Again, growing pains, we got to make sure we service, and we got 3 bays on this end, we got 3 bays on the other end. We got a restaurant, really good restaurant, really good food.
I will say I can touch on the food because I have personally had many things on the menu. It's delicious. So if you're not here for the golf and you just want to come for food and booze and a good atmosphere, it also supplies that as well.
Awesome. So that's how Bunkers came to be, yeah. And it's been really good. We're having a really good time with it, and we want to continue to get better. We want to make sure that we're doing all the right things on social media, because that's so big these days, and make people aware that we got parking here. We got 55 parking spots here in the parking deck, so free parking, and park underneath and walk here and enjoy yourself.
For sure, and for anybody that doesn't know, like just the spot, I know you can't see it right now, but you can watch football games, basketball games, you can come and play golf simulation, you can also play basketball, rugby, soccer, you can play lots of different games.
Home run derby.
Home
run derby's been really, really big.
See, that's more my speed. I'm a baseball girl, not a golfer, fortunately, with my back. You would think with a baseball swing is a lot like a golf swing, but not really.
Yes, there's a difference, yeah.
Okay, so I need to know, you're an Auburn grad, alumni. What's the best thing about Auburn for you? What's your most fond memory?
Well, I came in 1981, about the same time Bo Jackson and Charles Barkley and Pat died. And that was the best, in my view, and a lot of others, is the best decade of Auburn athletics ever was probably the 80s. So I just decided I'd stay the whole 80s with them, and I did. I finished about 1980. I came in 81. I finished about 1989. So
I was going to say, you took a couple of victory laps there. That's more than one victory lap. Okay.
But I did. I'm
sure
get,
your parents were so happy.
Yeah, I did finally get a degree.
It sounds like you could have gotten multiple degrees.
Well, I didn't. That wasn't in the cards.
What did you major in?
I finished in accounting. I'm actually a CPA. I don't do it. I'm horrible at accounting. I was just that was the
we'll mark that out. He's a great accountant.
That was what was easy in school. So I finished in accounting, and I worked in accounting for a while, and over time I got into sales. I sell real estate, sell corrugated boxes, and I have owned a victory with my love for Auburn athletics and Auburn University in general. Drove me to want to help on the victory with the official Auburn NIL collective locally, and so I take part in that, and now I got bunkers because I don't have enough going on in my life, so I figured I needed another
You sound
challenge.
like a man that needs to stay busy. And for those of you that don't know, On to Victory, I know you touched on it a little bit, NIL, can you tell us a little bit about what NIL is, what On to Victory is, what you do specifically in the Auburn community?
Absolutely. All right, so On to Victory is the official name, image, and likeness. NIL is name, image, and likeness. It's the Auburn University Athletics official name, image, and likeness collective. And there's 7 of us that are board members, and we go out to all the Auburn Auburn loving people across the globe, and we raise money to help offset some expenses for some student athletes here at Auburn, and they get paid for their name, image, and likeness. That's what that's what the value is. But they actually have to do social media posts for us. They have to sign autographs. They have to make public appearances. That they're required to do things for that. The big misnomers is they get money for free. No, they have to do things.
And there's certain criteria that they have to meet in order to get that funding.
And so we have a staff that runs that for us, and they make sure that all the student athletes that are under agreement with us do all the fulfillment that they're required. JJ Arminio, I see him over here. He handles all that for our group, and then we have Brett Whiteside, who is our executive director, and he's been in college athletics administration for a long, long time. He was here at Auburn, he's at Missouri, but he does a phenomenal job as our executive director. And we also have Jason Campbell. Y'all remember that name? He was a quarterback here. I don't remember the years, 15 or 20 years ago, and then he played 12 years or so in the NFL, and he also helps us. He helps us on the football side, and my role and responsibility in there is I'm what's called the basketball champion. I handle basketball, so I'm the go-between between the basketball team and our collective, and make sure that again, helping with making sure that the kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and so.
Well, and currently there's a lot of gray area in the NIL space, so it's great for companies for you guys to kind of help those student athletes navigate the things that they need to navigate while also being able to focus on studies and their sports journey.
Well, we try to educate them on a lot of things. We withhold taxes. We try to coach them on financial responsibilities and all the stuff. I mean, because you see all these, you hear all these horror stories out here about kids go make a little money in the NFL, and 5 years later they're broke.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we got a really good staff of 7 that I was telling you about, and one of the guys, his responsibility is accounting and educating these athletes on financial responsibility going forward. And so it's, you know, like I said, we really try to we try to do all the right things. In that, you know, we absolutely, you know, toe the line, make sure we're following NCAA guidance, SEC guidance, Auburn President's Office guidance, Auburn Athletic Department guidance, our compliance department guidance, and along with all the other coaches. So we, you know, it's something we take very serious, and we absolutely do it the right way.
Now, you did say that you're the basketball guy, correct?
That's
like
right.
This is your play in all of this. So I'm going to hold up an image to you, and I want you to give me the first word or phrase that maybe pops in your mind. So I have this fun little stop here, and just for the audience that can see, this is our fun little image. It says, "Don't get held back." What does that mean to you?
All right, that means that for a moment in time, I lost my mind. How about that? So let me explain what I did. That was at a basketball game on a Tuesday night. We were playing Texas A&M, and we, you know, as you know, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm pretty avid Auburn athletics.
Seems like you were very passionate in that picture.
Yeah.
I can see it in your
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah, fanatical. Yeah, I guess some people would call it. But so there was one particular official in my mind, and I used to officiate basketball at a fairly high level.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm looking out there and not knowing what I'm seeing. But so in my mind, he was 0 for 4 on his whistle. When he blew his whistle, I felt like he had missed his first 4 calls. I just had told Wesley Spruill, the guy standing beside me there, he's another on the Victory board member right there. I just had told him, I'm like, that guy right there is 0 for 4 on his own whistle. And he comes right down there and he missed another obvious call. And so I was just trying to make my point that he was 0 for 5, and I hope he gets one right before the night is over. And so as I was starting to tell him that, he moved to the other side of the basket, and I'm down there on the floor, and I'm on the left side of the basket, and so I was trying to get around there so he could hear what I had to say to him.
Because you had very important things that you needed to tell him in that moment.
So I want to be real clear as to what, because everybody has tried to read my lips and all that, and see what. Here's exactly what I said. I said, hey, you're 0 for 5 on your own whistle. Try to get one right by the end of the night. That's all I said. There was no profanity.
That's terrible.
That's
not
all I
terrible.
said. Now, did I jump? And yeah, but nevertheless.
The body language definitely gives me vibes of major aggression, but you know what you said, that sounds like something that I might say to my boyfriend on a Tuesday night.
Yeah,
But,
so anyway.
so you are now officially part of the meme community.
Oh yeah. And
You're in a meme.
There's all these people that researched who this guy was. I mean,
He's right here, people.
I mean, like,
we have him here
they're
first.
Like, so I'd get all these texts. They said, hey, I had no idea you were, used to be a realtor in the local area. Hey, I didn't know that you were part owner of Bunkers. Hey, I didn't know, because, so they researched and my whole life was laid out there before the world to see. So what we did is in the sign that you held up earlier, Haley, is what we did on the Victory. We got a pretty good marketing staff over there. They took that and the jungle, the student section at Auburn, on the next home game, which was that following Saturday, Ole Miss came to town and they held up 10 or 12 or 14 of them in the jungle, and we got a pretty good hit. We got some subscription. We got some people that paid and joined on the Victory and helped our cause because of it. So all in all, it turned out to be fantastic. But who would ever thought somebody would want to look up who's this old man hollering at the official?
I mean, things like this can either really help your career or really hurt it. It seems like it's really helped it. You're now, if you weren't an Auburn celebrity before, you are now.
Well, it turned out really, really good. Anyway, yes. But I was just angry. Everybody said, "Why was you so angry?" We was up 8. You can see the scoreboard in the back. We was up 28-20. Nobody was mad in the whole place but me.
8 isn't a lot in basketball.
Yeah, but the only other thing, there was probably one other. So we always, before I got here tonight, I was talking to a guy. His name him and his wife's name. It's on one of the little small buildings here around town. It's the arena. I mean, it's not a gigantic building. It's a little bitty.
Yeah,
and we always talk about so he's a good friend of mine. Bill Neville's his name. Anyway, so I was talking to Neville. So he had called me Saturday night because, by the way, tomorrow night come here and enjoy the Auburn basketball game at Bunkers because
it's the last one of the regular season,
last
right?
one, yeah, last road game of the regular season.
Yeah.
And but then after the game, I came in here on Saturday night, and as I'm sitting at the bar with a lot of friends that was enjoying the big win this past Saturday, Neville called my phone, and so we get to laughing because anytime we win big, we say that we took them to the Little Red Schoolhouse. We took them out to the schoolyard and spanked their tail, and so I was sitting at the bar, and I'm loud, as you can tell. I'm really, really loud, and everybody
Very
got to
outgoing.
laughing. Yeah,
Yes.
everybody was laughing because we was talking about the Little Red Schoolhouse, and so anyway, so I was on the way over here, and I looked down, and Neville had sent me a picture on my text of a Little Red Schoolhouse. So we have a lot of fun with it,
Yeah.
but I love Auburn athletics. I love golf. I love Bunkers. I love what we've done here, and I'm certainly passionate. And I love On to Victory, and I thank y'all for having me on this podcast. Y'all know I could talk on and on and on, but I'm gonna.
We could keep going. There was only a list of 5 questions. I have like an additional 5. We could keep going, but it seems like with Bunkers here, you've really been able to like collect all the things that you love and are passionate about in life, bring them under one roof, and it's a wonderful place. Come join us, have a beer. We're here every week, every day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Times, I don't know off the top of my head. Look them up on their Instagram page or their website, but come see us. And Mr. Keith Jones.
Come see me. Thank y'all.